What's going on, y'all? Now send me a video about apparently some Dem voters losing it. Let's see what's going down. See what's happening. I think this video is from LV Nation.
Some states in America are not allowing Donald Trump's no tax on tips or overtime to be available to their citizens. So you probably remember earlier in the year when Donald Trump passed the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, in which it had no tax on tips and no tax on overtime at the federal tax level. And although at the federal level, you won't be taxed on your overtime or your tips, a lot of states run by governors like these right here are still going to be taxing your overtime and tips on the state.
He said, when don't they lose it? It does seem like that's an everyday occurrence, right?
State tax level. Only 8 states in America are on track to allow their residents to be fully free from taxes on overtime and tips starting next year. However, places like New York, Illinois, California have declined to extend the state level tax breaks, citing that they would be losing billions in dollars of potential budgeting.
Imagine you've been a Democrat voter your entire life in a blue state like New York, and you realize that your governor, who is a Democrat, hasn't served up Trump's no tax on tips policy. So you are working for tips, and you hear about Trump basically giving you there's no taxes on these tips. You don't got to pay taxes. Guess what? Hochul is refusing to follow Trump's lead. New York still paying taxes on tips and overtime. What the hell is going on? And now voters are extremely pissed off and mad about this. This is just absolutely insane.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I do not blame him for being upset. How could you? You know what I mean? How could you? If I'm understanding correctly, if Trump said to do something and they're not following through, and if they follow through, it's going to be less taxes. The hell are you doing? Let me keep playing it. Maybe I misheard him.
Saying, take a listen.
New Yorkers just keep on getting screwed. This time it's not by the man dummy, it's by Kathy Hochul. New York has 318,000 people who work off of tips. That's your servers, bartenders, delivery drivers. Trump just made $25,000 worth of tips tax-free on your federal return. So you're going to get that money back. But New York, Kathy Hochul and Albany said no. Your tips are fully taxed by the state. That's hundreds, even thousands of dollars every year that they're not going to give back to you. But you got to wonder why. See, New York spends billions on undocumented immigrants and they're running a deficit. Nearly 700,000 live there. 25,000.
I just knew that's where it was going to go. I didn't want to say it. I just knew. Ain't that where it always goes? Like, damn. If we could get America to care about its citizens more than it does foreigners, man, I swear we'll be in a really good place. We'll be in a better place for sure. But wow, you gonna use taxes that for real, son? Word? I told you how I feel about taxes. In general,
are on full state Medicare, up to 480,000 on emergency Medicaid. They're in shelters, healthcare, free K through 12 education. That's $2 to $4 billion a year. So New York can fund that, but they won't give tip workers relief on their own earnings. You work doubles, weekends, and holidays. Why aren't you the priority?
Why aren't you the priority? And it's beginning to happen. Everybody knows what happened in Minnesota. There's a lot of people making these videos. And unfortunately, I looked at the polls that are coming out allegedly. 75% say on these polls that Democrats are most likely going to win the midterms. But how can people look around and say, yo, we're not even the priority? Like, they're scamming all over Minnesota, billions of dollars gone missing in California. Now you're not giving us the no tax on tip. I know we didn't vote for Trump. I'm pretty sure that's what Democrats are saying. Like, well, I know we didn't vote for Trump, but come on, make this a law. Like, pass this.
So am I reacting to songs? No, I'm not.
What's going on? Why are you approving this? Why are you a governor denying this? People are looking forward to this, even if they didn't vote for Trump. But that's what you get for being a Democrat in 2020. 25, aka 26. And breaking news, Democrat governors, right? California, Illinois, Colorado, and New York, right? You have even more states that are literally refusing to implement President Trump's no tax on tip, with furious residents of New York now blaming Kathy Hochul for deliberately using the livelihood of service workers to stick it to Trump. What in the world is going on? Well, here is someone who works in the industry and works for tips.
I said, can you send me anything to react to? And depends. It's really more based on if I want to react to it. But yes, everyone could submit something for me to react to. You can do it via Discord. Bro, how is that even legal, let alone right? Yeah, it's pretty messed up. It's pretty messed up. And I do think that there should be some kind of punishment for it. For sure. Because this is, yeah, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. And I don't have a side, right, when it comes to left or right. But damn it, Democrats do be wilding out. Democrats be wilding, at least from what I've seen, especially when it comes to these foreigners. Like, why do they care more about people that's not from here than the people who actually are from here, born and raised? Some people even went to the military and fought to protect us. Know how many homeless vets there are? I mean, homeless veterans there are just living in the street. But you could come here from another country and get taken care of. I'm walking through the streets. I see signs on stores telling people, hey, if you're an immigrant, come to this place and we'll help you get an apartment. You know how fucking hard I had to work to get my apartment? And I'm from here. So yeah, it's pretty disgusting. So I feel you. I would be homeless right now if I didn't have family. See? That's how. When you come back from serving, they should roll out the red carpet for you guys. They should give you the red carpet. But walk right into this house. You risk your life to protect us? Thank you for your service, by the way. But yeah, I do think that it's really foul. They treat immigrants better than they treat veterans.
And probably voted Democrat. Pissed off.
It's disgraceful. People live off of tips. So for her to do that is just, it's disheartening. It's upsetting.
Shout out to the people watching me on Kick right now, by the way. Thank you. And shout out to the people watching me on YouTube and on Twitch. She ripping up money?
I'm Zoe. I work at the Embassy Diner for 2 years. It's very disappointing. I was looking forward to that when the president was running, so it's a little disappointing. It's all my livelihood. Really, we live off of tips, so getting taxed on them. And
this is another topic too. People might hate me. I don't think that tips should be mandatory, right? I hate the fact that it's expected. And I hate the fact that these employers and companies are shortchanging their workers and doing them dirty and being like, well, the customer's going to make up for it. The fuck? I got to tip more because you want to pay them half what they supposed to be getting paid? That seem right to y'all? So yeah, I'm not really with that. I'm with nigga like, go on strike, get a different job. When they realize, damn, maybe we can't pay people crumbs and expect the customers to make up for it. I seen a video where a store owner, and he's also, I guess, the cook or whatever, was stalking some dude. Like, the dude went, paid for his food, and left. And he was like, nah, you didn't leave a big enough tip. And followed him for like 5 blocks until other people down the street came and stopped him. I was like, yo, stop following him. The whole time, it's like, nigga, you the business owner. If you can't afford to like run your business, then you shouldn't be running a business. They always be like, hey, if you can't afford to eat and tip, then you can't afford to eat out. How about if you can't afford to pay your workers, you can't afford to run a business? That's just me. So when I see like workers that's doing these like waitress jobs and shit. It really sucks that they being screwed by the corporation pretty much.
Losing money is definitely a big hit, and it makes living a little bit more difficult. And now knowing that it can't happen.
People hate me for saying that too. Like I get so much strife for that. I was arguing with a delivery driver once. I'm trying to tell them, nigga, they getting you, bro. Ask for more. Ask for more. Who else is coming to the hood? Ask for more, bro. I don't think they're gonna say no. But say, nah, you should just sit more. Like, what? See me to tell me that tips are mandatory whenever you're doing a job that the pay hourly is not as much as normal? How come the tips ain't mandatory at my job? What are you talking about? I'm a live streamer and YouTuber. Tips are appreciated, but they're not mandatory, nigga. That sounds crazy. If I want to make a certain income, I'll do more videos, live stream more, or here's the best one: get a job. I would just get my ass up and get a job. Well, it's pretty crazy. I didn't mean to go on a rant. My bad, guys. My bad. The red carpet treatment used to happen, and they stopped doing it. That's messed up. They should keep doing that. Instead, they care more about taking care of immigrants. Because you serve and life is a lot different after we are soft. What's that? Am I need my glasses? I was about to say security. That is not security. Society. I know I'm definitely probably pronouncing that so wrong. In my opinion, it's a shell shock. Yeah, I do understand that. And there should be more things in place to help people that's veterans be able to transition better. Hey, what's up, FB? How you doing? Bang gang all day. Said preach. Appreciate you guys. How about the wealth gap right now is worse than the 1920s? Goddamn. Society? Okay, I thought I was tripping. I'm like, I don't want to sit here looking crazy trying to pronounce that word. But thank you. And I'm about to look crazy trying to pronounce your name too right now. Alunian? Appreciate you. But yeah, it's pretty wild right now. I don't like how they treat Americans overall, but especially veterans. But then they rolling out the red carpet for immigrants. That's crazy. But it is what it is.
New York is a little frustrating. Frustrated. It's like losing money. So it's hard, especially when everything's so expensive in life right now. And that's my livelihood. That's how I eat. That's how I feed myself and my family. So maybe a couple hundred, close, to like 1,000 possibly, depending on the hours put in. Also, my mother's been a waitress for 30 something years, and she took care of 5 kids waitressing. So now knowing, if we were to go back and we were younger again and she was leaving the taxes on tips, it would have really affected mine and my siblings' lives growing up. So it's very upsetting. We've been in the restaurant business our whole life, so this is just what we know as diners. My father owned diners, my mom's parents owned diners. This is our family's business.
Wow. So again, ladies and gentlemen, voters, people have to realize that they've been getting played for a very long time. This is why you saw a lot of people jump ship. This is why you see a lot of people who did not like Trump, probably still don't like Trump, said, you know what? Our lives need to come first. We've been in America for generations, been in the United States of America for generations after generations after generations. We don't want to suffer. We want to figure.
How you doing? I don't know if it's Ink or is it Kirby. How you doing?
This out. And so if this is a step in that direction, why are you trying to stop that from happening? Why are you stopping that from happening? Well, here is this construction worker that I really want to play. He's going viral. Speaking of no tax on overtime, no tax on tips. Take a listen.
So that no tax on overtime and tips that you're looking forward to getting at the end of the year? Well, there's several states that's not going to allow you to deduct those taxes on your overtime and tips. Colorado, New York, Illinois, Maine, all these sanctuary states, they're not going to allow you to deduct taxes on your overtime and tips. And furthermore, even if you're not from that state, but you're working in that state, you're going to have to pay taxes on your overtime and tips on that state income. Yeah, they're claiming that the federal government has no business trying to control their tax revenue. So they're saying that they're not going to conform to that no tax on overtime and tips. They're saying
one time the government trying to do something right. What? They trying to give less taxes or remove taxes, and y'all like, nah. The government can't interfere. Nigga, it's the first time when we like, yes, tread. Tread. I'll be like, don't tread on me. No, don't tread. If you're taking these damn taxes, I don't want to pay taxes. But yeah, it's usually the Republicans declaring state rights. Ain't that way in this case. And the Dems wanting bigger government. So I'm saying this is like opposite day, right? Or just opposite times.
Saying that they can't afford to lose the revenue.
Got me agreeing with the government is crazy, right? And I'm not on no sides. There's just certain things where I'm just like, I don't like taxes. I don't like this. I'm with private property rights. I'm pretty much on that don't tread on me type of time. You know what I mean? I'm not on no political sides, but I do agree more with people on the right because a lot of people on the left be tripping.
Because they have too many people to take care of. Just giving y'all an update.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, and again, you look around all social medias, everyone is talking about this. This is
construction workers do so much overtime. Like what? This time they not with their families. And you're taxing it.
Very big deal about how, again, California, Illinois, you got Pritzker, you have Gavin Newsom trying to stick it to Trump by not allowing this, but really it runs deep.
He said every time you hear taxes, you hear like how Allen Iverson heard practice. Practice? Yo, every time I reference that, nobody know what I'm talking about. I just randomly be saying that sometimes, like practice? What you mean practice? How me practicing gonna make y'all better? Practice. Yes, I do the same thing when I hear taxes. Taxes? You want to take what? YouTube already takes most of it. Now you want to take more too? Just got hands in my pockets 24/7 doing the bunny ears. Broke as hell. But yes, I do the same thing when I hear taxes. Taxes.
Than what you can actually imagine, because it always does.
I'd be mad as
no tax on tips policy, along with the related. Okay, these ads are just ridiculous. But I do want to read this. Let me read this off screen. What's up with these ads that show, ladies and gentlemen? These ads are just ridiculous on the New York Post. You can't even read these things without the New York Post like showing you a million ads. Now I do love the New York Post. They always do give us good news, but let me actually read this off screen for you guys. So there's no tax on tips policy, right? Along with a related deduction for overtime was a key worker-friendly provision of Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill, narrowly passed by Republicans this year. Treasury Department officials extended the federal tax break for nearly 70 jobs and professions, from taxi drivers to golf caddies, right? But not for OnlyFans creators. It literally says right there. So no OnlyFans. If you do OnlyFans and you're getting these tips, you still got to pay. Trump is not rewarding that. But the obvious beneficiaries were food and beverage service workers, often dependent on tips. Qualified service workers can now deduct up to $12,500 of tip income a year on their federal taxes, while hourly workers can do the same for $12,500 of overtime pay. The break jumps to $25,000 in both cases if filing as a married couple, and effective for tax years of 2025 and 2028. Now, why is this important? Remember, your tax break jumps up if you are filing as a married couple. So this is one of the things that, again, Trump is pushing for, pushing for people to basically get married, have kids, and enjoy the benefit of actually doing that, of creating a family, of extending the population. That is something that Republicans have definitely been trying to talk about. That's a very Christian thing to do. But while many states either proactively or automatically matched the cuts, several others held out against extending the deduction, including New York, to the dismay of service industry workers. It's disgraceful. People live off tips, said Zoe, who you heard, she's a waitress at the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, Long Island, who said she helps out at home as the eldest of 5 siblings. So she's bringing in all this money. She could bring an extra $12K. She could bring an extra more if she's married. But she said it's like losing money. So it's hard, especially when everything's so expensive in life right now. That's my livelihood. This is how I eat and I feed my family. Right. So again, Jackie Pater, this is her right here. She's another. So again, the New York Post did a whole segment on this when they were going. I guess they had journalists go from restaurant and bar to bar for people that actually work for tips, and they were interviewing them. And Jackie Pater, I hope I'm saying the name right, a manager at McDade's Irish Pub in Midtown for a couple years. This is a very famous Irish pub. And a server for 37 also had some choice words for the state lawmakers. She says their hands are in everything, and finally they're doing some good, and they passed the bill, and now the state comes and screws you. It's like, what are you doing? Just leave it to Kathy Hochul to do that, said Pater, a Trump supporter. Thanks for nothing, she told Kathy Hochul. Several servers, coyly, lamented the declining use of cash, which used to provide an ignorance is bliss workaround to get around the tax on tips. So remember, that's how it used to work back in the day. But people don't use cash like that no more. It's basically just using their cards or using Apple Pay and stuff like that. So she says that I get most tips from credit cards. So that means everything is getting taxed, said David Adju, a server at Anatoly 56 Greek Taverna in Midtown. I think I've heard of that as well. He says, honestly, if my check comes out good, but then they take out a lot of taxes, it's bad for us. So another one, Hannah Teal, 33, who tends a bar, George and Jack's tap room in Williamsburg, says she only brought home $40,000 after taxes last year. It's not a lot to live on. If you look at what's actually being taken away from you, you can actually make a lot more money. And again, they're saying here, it sucks to be taxed. That's why we love cash tips. He joked by saying that, but he's actually for real, noting she could have taken home $3,000 more if it was not for the state tax.
Like, Big Brother is always watching. You definitely shouldn't be saying that publicly. Like, that sound crazy. Yeah, Big Brother is watching you. Like, oh, you like to get it in cash, huh? That's where we need to collect it. And they will come for it.
Taxes adding, she'd be ecstatic. So you already have problems. You already have problems with the fact that the city is so expensive, right? And again, this is just covering New York City. You're going to get people pissed off in Illinois. You're going to get people pissed off in California. You're going to get
expensive as hell. I need to get the hell out of Dodge. Fucking hate this city. Like, I genuinely can't stand living in the city.
Get this. Trust. So again, how do you survive on $40,000 living in New York City? You don't. Affordability, and I quote, has become a recent rallying cry for Democrats, especially after the meteoric rise of Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani. Hochul herself jumped onto the affordability bandwagon, doling out inflation refund checks up to $400 and pushed a child tax credit, even as she backed a $9 congestion toll for cars entering Manhattan and other measures hitting New Yorkers in their wallet. So she's out here supporting all type of crazy stuff. And she's just literally the enemy of a New Yorker. She really is the enemy of the working New Yorker, of the working class in New York City and the state, period. She notably did not push to match Trump's tip and overtime deductions, despite Senator George Borrello proposing bills to do so for the New York taxpayers. So the New York taxpayers are getting cooked. It's like they're getting exited out, and New York can only really live on people that are basically living off the government, and that's what a lot of these.
So horrible, and I do think that that's what they want them to do, especially when you got the immigrants coming in, right? And we're not going to pretend that they're not trying to boost up their popularity with. You know what? Let's not speak on that. I've been saying too much truth already. I think people was running off from it.
I know people get called conspiracy theorists for saying that, but that's really what it's starting to look like. That they're really pushing everybody out just so they can pretty much live or just take care of people in order to continue the city going. So the city just becomes reliably the most reliable on just living off the government. And that is a very dangerous thing when you look at all these major cities, especially when you look at Illinois, right? Chicago, right? And you look at California, Los Angeles, and all the major cities that are in California. And you look at New York City, right? And you look at Manhattan, you look in Queens, you look in Long Island. I mean, yeah, that's what it's looking like. It's looking like they are prioritizing a different set of agendas. One big agenda that the Democratic Party has been benefiting off is, of course, the greatest point of the non-working class getting all the benefits while the working class gets screwed. And that was something that was happening to me because I started noticing, I was like, I'm finally starting to make money. I don't live off welfare with my mom anymore because I'm getting older. I'm starting to work. I'm working. I finally got a break. My life got better and boom, I started getting effed up. Taxes killing me. I mean, taking a.
Well, yeah, that's the trap, right? The better that you do, right? The more independent that you become, the more taxes that they're going to try to hit you with. I'm telling you, I get nothing. I got people that be calling me, hey man, you got your taxes? No. Nigga, I never, nigga. I owe every time. That's the, I guess you could say, benefit to being independent. That shit sucks. Right? It's that in between. But it's a grind.
Away so much money from me. So, ladies and gentlemen, who the hell wants to pay taxes when you know all this fraud and all these things are going on? And then you realize that your governor is cooking you. They're cooking you. They're literally playing with your livelihood. I mean, that's got to be crazy, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to smash the like button. Democrats finding out that, hey, some of these big major states that you voted for and these governors and these politicians that you voted for aren't really your friends. They aren't really your friends. They aren't anything to you, actually. They're serving another type of purpose.
Some states in America.
He's not wrong. Pretty nasty out here. I'm telling you, I just want them to care more about the people that live here, bro, that's from here. That's all. Said them politicians been bought and paid for. In my personal opinion, facts. Big facts. In my personal opinion. But tell me what you guys think down in the comment section.